All right, welcome. Today, we are going to peel back the layers on language models. We're moving past that whole black box idea to explore the really intricate geometric world that's living inside an AI's mind. We're going to uncover how it actually works and why it can be so brilliantly creative one moment and then just frustratingly fragile the next.
But before we dive in, I'm just going to run through a quick disclaimer. This is Module 3 of a 10-part tutorial on language models and their fragility, and it's an overview based on a comprehensive report by Virtualization Options LLC. Now, this explainer offers only general guidance, and it comes without any warranty. It is definitely not legal or financial advice. We strongly recommend discussing any actions with your own professional advisors. And just so you know, these modules only cover a tiny fraction of the information in the full research report.
So let's kick things off with a mystery that I am sure you've bumped into. You ask an AI question, you get a great answer. Then you go back, you tweak just one little word, and all of a sudden the new response is just wildly different. Why on earth does that happen? Well, that's the big question we're here to answer today.
Okay, so to get to the bottom of this, we first need to understand how an AI even sees language, because it doesn't see words like you and I do. Instead, it thinks in terms of this vast, unbelievably complex internal map. And to read that map, we need to learn its language.
All right, first up, we need to talk about something called a token. This is the fundamental unit for an AI, and it's not always a neat whole word. It could be part of a word, like ing, or even just a comma. Everything from the prompt you type into the AI's final response gets broken down into these basic building blocks.
So, where do all these tokens live? Well, they exist in what's called a high-dimensional vector space. The easiest way to think about it is like a giant multi-dimensional map. Every single token is a single point on this map, and its location is defined by thousands of coordinates that capture its meaning and how it relates to every other token.
Okay, so how does the model remember where it is on this crazy map? That's the job of the residual stream. You can just think of it as the model's working memory, or maybe it's Scratchpad. It's a single vector that's constantly being updated, holding the meaning of the conversation so far, and guiding the model on where it needs to go next.
So the AI has its map, and it has its memory. The question now is, how does it actually move from one point to the next to build a sentence? You know, the process is less like a simple calculation and a lot more like a relay race of thought.
And honestly, this is just a brilliant analogy from the source material. An AI model is made up of many layers. As the context, that residual stream we just talked about, passes through, each layer adds its own bit of understanding. It's literally a relay race where the baton of meaning gets passed along and refined, getting closer and closer to predicting the very next token.
We can actually break this whole relay race down into a three-part journey that happens for every single token. First up is states, where the model looks at the context and decides, okay, what matters right now? Next are the routes, where it calculates where to move next on that internal map. And finally, you have anchors, where the model grounds its prediction by looking at learned patterns, basically asking, what usually comes next in a situation like this?
All of this, it's all building up to the most critical, the most sensitive moment in the whole process, the arbitration challenge. This is the moment of truth, where the AI has to make a choice. See, at every single step of generating text, the model is juggling. It's weighing all these competing signals. What does the immediate context suggest? What patterns has it seen a billion times before in its training data? What actually makes the most sense here? It has to arbitrate between all of these factors just to pick one single next token. And this is the absolute crux of it, this critical decision-making moment. AI expert and researcher Rob Manson has a perfect name for it: token-by-token arbitration. And that's exactly what it is. This constant arbitration is where the model's incredible ability to generate nuanced text comes from, but it's also the source of its deep, underlying fragility.
And this brings us right back to our mystery from the beginning. To a human, these two questions mean the exact same thing, but to the model, they are two completely different starting points on that vast geometric map. Benefits and advantages are in different places, so are exercise and physical activity. And these different starting points can send the model on completely different journeys through its internal landscape, leading to surprisingly different answers. So now we can put all the pieces together and finally get to the core reason for this AI fragility. And here's the spoiler. It's not a bug. It's not a mistake in its programming. It's a fundamental feature of how it's designed. This quote from the research it hits the nail on the head.
We want to think of these models as logical reasoners, but that's not what they are. They are incredibly sophisticated navigators. They're not reasoning from first principles. They are navigating a landscape of patterns that was created entirely by their training data.
So here's the bottom line. Fragility is baked right into the system. This geometric navigation is just incredibly sensitive. A tiny change to the input prompt creates a brand new starting point. That new starting point leads to a totally new path. And because that learned landscape isn't perfectly smooth, it has cliffs and valleys and sharp turns, that new path can end up in a completely different destination.
And that leaves us with this final, really fascinating question. If an AI's thinking is actually this fragile journey across a learned map, can we ever make it truly predictable? Or is its powerful creativity forever tied to this potential for chaos? It's something to think about the next time you change just one word in a prompt and get a whole new world in response.